Dude, I do not have time to do a bit with you today. So, well, then we'll do it next week. God. Da, two, da, fa, sa, da, 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 ba, da, dee, 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 da, do, da, da. Steedy doo dee doo da doo. It's Wednesday. I'm in. Hi, my name's Jimmy. I'm in a pandemic. How about you? um, I went to the comic book store today, by which I mean the kid from the comic book store drove his mom's car over here to give me some stuff. Picks of the week. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. Little guy was late, and I was getting angry. And then he got here, and I went, "No, I can't stay mad at you." He has a name, I'm sure. All right, so the shop is still doing their buy two trades get one free sale, and it's a Galaxy of Comics, corner of Luis and Saticoy in beautiful Van Nuys, California. And sorry, I just have to make sure my hemorrhoidal ointment is all into the tube the way I like it. Sorry, I'm a little punchy this afternoon. So I once again took advantage of this sale to finish out, I think, my collection of TKO trade paperbacks. Exhibit A! This is Pound for Pound, published by the great TKO Press. TKO Press. Now, I got all excited because I thought it would be about wrestling. It's more about MMA. Yeah. But that's as close as we're going to get. No. I don't know any of these creators off the top of my head. Andy Bellinger the names look familiar, but no, I don't know. And I did not, unfortunately, have time to look into it. The good news is, from everything else I've read from this publisher, worst case scenario is it'll be fine. So I'm fine with that. I also bought Eve of Extinction. Now, this was another one where I don't know these creators, but this cover art looks very familiar. Like I know who that is. Oh, and apparently this book is written by the CEO and publisher of TKO Press. That would make sense. Beep-bop. Maria Nguyen did the cover art, and I don't know where I know her from. And it could just be that she looks kind of like Becky Cloonan's art. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, like this one, the other one was an MMA story. I don't know what this is either. And again, well, this was less to do with the time constraints. Normally, I like to look up the creators and stuff, but yeah, like I said, I'm running under deadlines in this day and age. Well, here we are. But I don't know anything about those books on purpose. I'm sure I've made that clear. So for my third trade that I got for free, I got volume 1 of Farmhand. This was a book that came out, I want to say right around when I quit working at the other shop back in San Diego, California. And I unfortunately never got my hands on these. This is written and drawn, right? Yeah. This is all done by Rob Guillory, who I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name right. Geary seems like it should make more sense, but not. Guillory was half of the team that brought the world the comic book entitled Chew, which was put out by the great Image Comics group. And it's really good. It was definitely one of the bigger indie books of this century, though, so far. If you haven't read that, I highly recommend it. It's written by John Layman, drawn by Rob Guillory, and it ought to be all available at your local library by this point, I would imagine, or on the app that your local library is using. So that'd be something else you could read. I'd show you mine, but they're all back in my mom's house. I don't remember the storyline to this because this is almost, Jesus Christ, is this over a year old? Yeah, I think it might be. But from what I do remember, it's the farmhand in question is growing human limbs, etc. It's like a clone farm sort of a thing. That's what I remember from the write-up. But Guillory's art is tremendous. He's got this crazy style where he's very cartoony, but he's still able, when he wants to convey like some real serious stuff. So that's not an easy thing to do. So you should buy his comic book. You'll probably feel better. There's only 5 issues in that trade. I'm really getting tired of this, to be quite honest, and I'll get into it later, but 6 issues to a trade. It's not that hard. We're going to go back to the old Transmetropolitan trades when they collect 2 issues and then 9 issues. Make up your minds. Picks of last week. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. I seem in a bit of a mood. It's because I didn't get enough reading in this week because I've had the worst stomach cramps, indigestion / constipation that I have ever had in all 73 years that I've been walking this earth. So I was laid up for most of it. That's why I'm in such a hurry today to get all this other stuff done, because I had 0 time in between moaning and wailing and licking my palms. Okay, now I'm getting to a whole different thing. But I did manage to read before all that Deadeyes Volume 1. This is only 4 issues, which is even more. $15 for 4 issues. I could probably buy all the single back issues for about the same. Lame. But this is one of the best heist stories I've read in ages. When Thief of Thieves first started, probably back like 2013, that was probably the last time I read something. Was it 2013? It seems like, might have been earlier even. That was the last really good, like, armed robber type. It's not really an armed robber story. Deadeyes here is by Jerry Duggan and John McRae. Yeah. And it was originally entitled Dead Rabbit, but apparently there was a bar in New York City. But why would a bar in New York City be able to lay claim to a comic books title? Well, I'm glad you asked. Apparently, they also copyrighted the name for comic book purposes because their menu is a comic book? I don't know. They had to change the name of Deadeyes, which I didn't read the first 2 issues went out as Dead Rabbit. And again, I would have had those had I not quit the shop I worked at. But the shop I used to work at was run by an asshole. So, but anyway, Deadeyes takes place in Boston, which is not my favorite city. I've never been there. But I'm trying to think of how to say this. Okay, I'll start this way. The movie The Town sucked really bad, and I know I'm the only one who thinks that. The book upon which it was based, Prince of Thieves by Chuck Hogan, could not put it down. And that book told me, and I have no reason to argue with it, that Boston in particular, and that part of Boston in particular, Charlestown, or whatever the town is, bank robbery capital of the United States of America. And so Deadeyes definitely takes a page out of that possibly not exactly accurate book. And it's so much fun. Jerry Duggan is already, if you've read any of his stuff, and he's been writing a ton. And this is, John McRae has been around, I really feel like that might not be his name, I'm going to feel really foolish. He's been around forever, and he was teamed with Garth Ennis on The Demon, which is how I knew who either of those guys were. And then they created a character called Hitman for that series, who got his own title that they did together. And so McRae and Ennis have been a team on a lot of, they did a book called Dicks, which was very Irish. And what else did they do together? I'm sure something. But yeah, this is his best work. Like, I've never seen, his line has always been, like, his style has always been kind of choppy, for lack of a better word. It's a little chunky. It's not photorealistic like Alex Ross. It's not even, like Mary Worth realistic. There's a name for it. I can't think of what it is. And it's not really more realistic in this book, but it's just smoother. It's almost as though, I don't know if somebody's inking him different, or if, no, I think that's what it was when I was reading it. I'm like, oh, he's inking himself, which I don't think he normally does. Which is stupid. I'm also could be confusing that with... Sorry. I'm really out of it today. Anyway, all I can say is that Deadeyes Volume 1, despite the price point, is very, very, very good. And I'm the only real letdown is not even how few issues are in this first trade, but now I don't have more to read. I want to read more of it. Another thing I got to this week, and that I haven't, it wasn't a pick of any week at any point, but I bought this like over a year ago, and I was like, I'm finally going to get into it. This is Space Usagi by Stan Sakai. Usagi Yojimbo, the bunny here, samurai bunny that Stan Sakai created 31 years ago now, right? 40? Fuck. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to swear. It's been around a while. 35, 36. I think 85 was when, yes. So it's 36th anniversary of Usagi Yojimbo. And the character's actually named Miyamoto Usagi. Let's not be Philistines. And then this is a book, obviously, takes place in the far-flung future with one of his samurai rabbit descendants. So it's this lovely blend of feudal Japan, outer space, fights, space opera. It's very space opera. Well, not unlike the original book, which does not take place in space, but it's very operatic. And it was a lot of fun. This book collects 3 different arcs that he did in 3 different books and a couple bonus stories. I don't know. This collection here came out in 98. I don't know if he's done any more Space Usagi stories since then. But really anything you can get your hands on by Stan Sakai, which is mostly Usagi Yojimbo. I mean, he's been the inker? Yeah, the inker on Guru the Wanderers for even longer than he's been doing Usagi Yojimbo. But yeah, it's great stuff. And the man is just, oh yeah. I actually went out of my way to post this on social media because it was such a great sequence. Let's see if I can't find it. Why don't I bookmark these things, you might not ask yourself. I can't find it. I really feel like I should just do this all over, but I'm not going to because I have a podcast to edit. Picks of last week. I think that's all I've got for today. I'll probably have some more for for next week. Trying to see if I got any other books here. No, nothing that jumps out at me right now. I'm also reading that Sean Howe Marvel Comics The Untold Story book again. Whew, you gotta read that. It's so good. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. All right. 2, 3, 4. Da da. Ha da ba dee da da do 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 do